So welcome everyone who's joined us tonight. We're going to take you through a few slides and then we will move on to our live questions and answers with Ming. So first, you would like to introduce you to your host and co-host. So I'm Tara Pope, the Director of University College Marketing, and we will be sponsoring the boot camps that Ming is helping to run for Tufts University.
And I'm Rebecca Plotkin. I'm the Director of Professional and Custom Education for University College. So I handle all of our continuing and professional education programs. Ming?
Cool. I'm Ming Chow. I'm Associate Teaching Professor in Computer Science, among other things.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight, Ming, and for all of you that are on the line. Just give you a little quick review of tonight's agenda. Ming's gonna take you through what to expect from the 3 different boot camps that are available. Then we'll have our live Q&A, so please feel free to post questions to the Q&A section or to the chat, and I will be able to pick those up and I'll call out the questions and Ming will give us some answers. And then if we have time at the end, Rebecca will take us through quickly how to enroll in the courses and how quick and easy it is on our courses.tufts.edu site. So from here, I will pass it over to Ming to walk through the boot camps.
Sure. So the boot camp. So why cybersecurity? Why cybersecurity at Tufts? It was around 2015. We started an initiative to really grow cybersecurity at Tufts. The reason being twofold. Number one, we have a very strong computer science program. And number two, we also have a very strong international relations and policy program at both the undergrad and graduate level. International relations, Fletcher School of Law and Diplomacy. And we know that the future is going to be interdisciplinary. And cybersecurity is only going to be a bigger problem in the future, which of course, turned out to be absolutely true in 2015. And 2016, around then, we made an investment to hire a bridge professor in cybersecurity and public policy, who's Susan Landau now. We've also created a master's program in cybersecurity and public policy between the Fletcher School and the School of Engineering, a joint program. And over the last few years, we have had a lot of undergrads have participated in competitions. Just this year alone, yes, even during a pandemic year, we had a group of students that won the, second place in the Veracode Hacker Games competition on how to secure code. We had a team that got awarded in the MITRE Embedded Capture the Flag competition. And it's now becoming an annual occurrence that we have a group of students who win Cyber 912, which is a public policy competition where, you act like policymakers and have to deal with real cyber attack incidents going on. And it's a policy competition, even during a pandemic year. So our reputation in cybersecurity has gone up and up and up and up. And that's something I'm extremely proud of at Tufts. But this is all within Tufts. Even during a graduate research, has been going up and up and up as well. So there seemed to be something that was missing in this whole thing. Is like, why not we just give back to the public? What if we offer trainings that people really need? Because we know some of the issues that are coming out with computer science program, most computer science students these days don't even know a thing about security. Shocking. But also, I'm sure that a lot of you know that we're now in a time where people are looking for career changes, trying to leave job, look for a new career, look for a new career path. And cybersecurity is right up there at the top. It's a field that has been in desperate need of people for years. And so why don't we offer a bootcamp course, a bootcamp series that can help people get up to speed, especially for those who want a career change, who want to learn a little bit more about cybersecurity. I can't tell you how many times I get emails from not only students, but also from professionals, either by way of email or by social media saying, okay, I want to get started in cybersecurity. Where do I start? Where do I start? So we created this boot camp, and we use something called a 3-3-3-3 model. 3 boot camps, 3 weeks. Magic numbers in life seem to be always 3. So it boils down to network security, web security, and malware. Like 3 big topics that are never going to go away when it comes to big ideas, important critical topics in cybersecurity. And we create 3 boot camps, 3 series of boot camp, 3 courses, 3 weeks each on those topics: network security, web security, and malware. So let's start with network security first. So network security, 3 weeks. How the network works, network reconnaissance, and attacking networks. Yeah, of course, part of security is a double-edged sword. You have to do attacking and defense. You got to learn both the attacker techniques and also defending. So we even get into things like attacking networks, which is becoming still a huge problem, especially in the age of COVID. Understanding how the network works, the bread and butter. Cybersecurity, a big core of cybersecurity is to understand how things work. We take the network for granted. We use apps, internet, list goes on, but very few people actually understand how 2 computers talk to each other, how the network works. So we got to get the basics out first. Network reconnaissance, huge important technique that is used for both good and bad to to understand what's on a network, what's on a target, and attacking networks. Things like distributed net, DDoS, bringing down networks. So we're going to cover those things. Web security, yeah, still an issue up to this day. So it's funny that I learned cybersecurity in 2004. It's when I first got indoctrinated with cybersecurity. And the top 2 vulnerabilities I learned in 2004 are still the top 2 issue in here we are in 2021. Isn't that sad? Like the network, people use the web all the time, but take it for granted. How the web works, get the fundamentals first. Then we get into the web security fundamentals. Yeah, and this week, this is where you learn the techniques to break application, how to break web pages, web application, get access to data that you shouldn't have access to. Week 3, this is where you actually will have hands-on exercise and break into a website under my jurisdiction, and even play things like capture the flag. So, I mean, why web security? Like, why is there a focus on web security up to this day? And I can't tell you how many reports there are over the last so many years, especially during COVID, that the amount of web security attacks, the attacks against web security has only gone way up and up and up. Just that's how business is done these days. That's where the gold mine is. So there's a lot of emphasis on web security because that's like 60% of all attacks are against web apps. Malware analysis. Yeah, it's like, why now? Why malware? Well, malware is a topic that is still an issue up to this day. But 2 things: malware has not only evolved, but also malware has been a lot of misconceptions. There's a lot of misconceptions with malware, but the one nice thing about malware analysis, and why this is a 3rd course, is it also ties in very nicely with the first 2 courses. So we're going to get into malware, and week 1, we're going to actually analyze real Android malware. Week 2, we're going to do actual malware traffic analysis. And then number 3, we're going to look at Windows malware. This stuff is not going to go away. But also there's a lot of misconceptions as well too. So it's important that during this course that it will be important to this course that we'll get the definitions correct. 3 courses, 3 weeks each.
Thanks, Ming, for taking us through those and the background. That's great. So now we have time for some live Q&A. So you can either put your questions in the Q&A function of Zoom, or you can put them in the chat. Either way will work, and we can go through them with you and have Ming answer your questions. Let's get started. The first one that someone has given me is, in addition to the live time in the Zoom classroom, what types of work and how much time will need to be dedicated for the asynchronous portions of this boot camp?
Yeah, so one of the things about cybersecurity is a lot of like the learning process is to keep up to date with what's going on. Huge part of the cybersecurity, not only learning, but also for professionals as well. 10 out of 10 times, and I really mean 10 out of 10 times, when we cover a topic, there's going to be something on the news about it. So one of the things that I will definitely ask is, okay, well, how are you going to, well, you just learned X, Y, and Z. Can you find an article that you can apply what you just learned? And chances are probably there's going to be an incident, like some major hack that happened during the week when the boot camp is going on, that ties very much into what the topic of the week is. Happens all the time. But yeah, one career advice I would tell people is cybersecurity is one of those fields that make you work very hard. You have to keep up with the news all the time. I mean, that's why there's like a lot of people say, oh, it's a very difficult field. Yeah, it requires you to, there's a lot of keeping up with the news, keeping up with skills, keeping up with what people are doing, good and bad. But one thing is that's one thing at a time. Yeah, imposter syndrome is a real problem in cybersecurity, but this boot camp will give you an understanding of, how broad cybersecurity is and how applicable it is on a day-to-day basis now.
Well, thank you, Ming. The next question we have is, will taking these boot camps at Tufts increase my chances to be accepted to the Cybersecurity Public Policy Master's program at the Fletcher School?
So taking the boot camp will certainly not hurt you. It will help you. It can only help you. The one thing about this, the master's program is, okay, what we're really looking for is people like, do you have either a technical or a political policy competency? That's one. Number 2 is, do you have any interest in cybersecurity? Of course, this is where the boot camp comes into play. And number 3 is, and this is a much harder thing, and it's, we do a pretty good job with this, is we gauge how profoundly interested are you in the intersection between cybersecurity and policy. We're not looking for just that policy program. I can tell you, we're not looking for someone who just wants to do strict technical cybersecurity. We're also not looking for someone who does strict policy and no hands-on skills. So we're looking for a mixture of both.
Great, thank you. Our next question, will there be opportunities for me to network or interact with the faculty and students that currently are in the master's degree program at the Fletcher School?
Yeah, in terms of the interaction, you have your classmates, it's huge. It's all done online, which is nice in some ways. But also the one nice thing is that I'm pretty active online. So of course, it's not only just during the course, but also during on Twitter as well too. I mean, most of the information security community is on Twitter. And so we're also on there as well. So there's multiple avenues. Yeah, there's a student, there's the peers in your class, there's me, And there's also other professionals we can actually get engaged with on social media and Twitter. Yeah, say whatever you want about social media, but yeah, I mean, for me, even up to this day, I still get a lot of my news. I still get all of my news and happenings on social on Twitter. That's the real hangout place for cybersecurity professionals.
Next question, are there any professional credits available for these boot camps, like CEUs or anything like that?
I can handle that one. Since that's more of an enrollment question. Sure. There are currently no credits available for this. So it's a non-credit offering. The participants will not earn Tufts credits that can be transferred elsewhere. We are offering a letter of completion, which can be used for your own purposes as a resume builder, but often is also used for corporate reimbursement purposes. That is available to students as at least a record that you've participated in the bootcamp. There's no grade associated with the bootcamp, so we're not able to offer any sort of formal grade the way that you would get on a transcript.
Great, thanks so much, Rebecca. So right now I see one final question, and that is, Ming, for you. So what would be the main reason to take these boot camps at Tufts? So what type of future path will they prepare me for, or career change may they prepare me for?
Rebecca, you want to take that one first? I mean, I have my thoughts. Go for it.
Sure. The boot camps are really designed for people who already have an interest in cybersecurity. They may not have a lot of expertise in it, but they're trying to either work in a field that has a cybersecurity component, or as Ming mentioned, perhaps they're already in public policy and want to add on more of the cybersecurity technical skills to go along with their current career track. So this would actually prepare someone to either advance in a current career within cybersecurity and brush up on their skills, or could help somebody who's in a slightly tangential career track like public policy, international relations, even domestic policy, get more involved in a career track that includes the cybersecurity angle. But it's really built for somebody who is looking for that technical knowledge. But as Ming mentioned before, cybersecurity is changing all the time. So this by no means would be the final piece of continuing education that someone would need to do for that career.
Yeah, the other thing I mean, I'll also tack on to what Rebecca said, like why Tufts? Why come to Tufts for a boot camp? One, let's be honest, it's brand recognition. Brand recognition. Let's get that out of the way. I mean, Tufts is. I'm an alum of Tufts many years now. Faculty. It's a strong brand. Number two. The other thing is I can say is the big difference between going to a place like Tufts and going to a X, Y, and Z for do cybersecurity is if you want to have a conversation on the strict technical cybersecurity, like Tufts is probably not the best place to go for that. But that's the key. Cybersecurity is a very holistic, it's a problem that affects every discipline and field. Mathematics, economics, international relations, public policy, psychology, physics, mathematics, even things like water engineering these days. So cybersecurity is not just a technical topic. If all you want to do is break into systems, that's probably not for you. But then again, that's a very narrow, an extremely narrow focus, narrow focus on cybersecurity. The best practitioners, the best people I know in cybersecurity is they know both the technical and also the non-technical skills. And at Tufts, when we do cybersecurity, it's the full thing, policy, and also the technical hands-on skills. So if you, I'll just go and say this like up front, if all you care about is the technical side on cybersecurity and you don't look at things like the political nature, And that's not enough. That's not enough to be really, really good in cybersecurity these days. Sorry. Like, you gotta have a very broad knowledge, because there's, I'll echo what a friend of mine said. He does work for the FBI, and he said, learn things like calligraphy, forensics, music, because a lot of times in cybersecurity, the best answer is not technical. And we have a broad view of cybersecurity here. Plus, the last foremost thing, I've done bootcamp. I teach boot camps. I've taught boot camp before. I've been there, done that.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for your time, Ming, and let's skip over to, since I don't see any more questions, I'm just double checking. Let's skip over now to Rebecca to go through a little bit about the enrollment process with University College.
Thanks, Tara. So University College was set up to broaden who Tufts could reach and really reach populations of professional and continuing education students. So we make it very easy to enroll. It's just a few short clicks. You can go to our courses.tufts.edu website, browse for cybersecurity, and you would find all 3 workshops. It's an Amazon-style checkout. You simply add it to your cart, create a profile if you don't have one already, and press checkout. It takes maybe 10 minutes. There's no GRE or standardized test required. There's no lengthy application. There's no extra hoops to jump through. A little bit on the cost. Each bootcamp is $3,000. We're currently running a special through this upcoming Friday to save $200 per bootcamp. So if you were to register for all 3, that's a $600 savings. 2 bootcamps, $400, etc. We also like to remind people that there could be an opportunity for your company to actually reimburse you for the cost of the boot camps. A lot of students are able to get their manager's approval to cover the cost and can actually use their corporate credit card to directly charge the cost of the boot camp. So we highly recommend talking to your manager, talking to HR, and seeing if this benefit is available to you. We do have on our bootcamp website, which I will also put in the chat, a link for what we call a justification letter. It's essentially a template that you can use to actually talk to your manager and document with HR why this course would be useful and how you might be able to justify it within your corporate reimbursement policies. And then, as I mentioned earlier, there is an option for a letter of completion. This is often needed for employers to actually show that you've completed the boot camp. And so that would be available at the end of the boot camp, assuming you attend the sessions. Just a little bit more information on each of the boot camps. As Ming said, there are 3 weeks each. And there are 2 live sessions per week. There's a live session on Thursday evenings from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, and also Saturday mornings from 10 a.m. to noon Eastern time. Otherwise, it's all asynchronous. You're able to do assignments and do extra activities, as Ming noted, outside of that time. And those assignments, they're non-graded. So it's simply for feedback and for your own knowledge and understanding of the materials.
Thanks so much, Rebecca. And the next slide just gives everybody a little bit more information. If you want to follow us on any of our social media channels, the phone number to contact us directly, email us, or visit the website. So please feel free to ask any other questions, and we'll look forward to hearing from you soon. Thanks again for joining us, everyone, and we hope to see you all soon in Ming's boot camps.